People might sell Sao Paulo a certain type of way. But I get on live and there's a chick argue with me that I didn't even talk to, but they're all so feminine in certain cities. It's so perfect in Sao Paulo. None of these places are perfect the way how they're sold to you. Is it better? Absolutely, it is better. That's why I still live abroad. I went back to Dallas and it was some bullshit. So I was like, yeah, I made the right decision by moving. This was just confirmation. But a lot of these people are selling these dreams to you as if it's just a utopia. And I'm telling you, you're still dealing with people. They just don't have as much of a messed up mindset and brainwashed and degenerate mindset as they do in the United States. Okay? Now, how are they selling you a dream? First of all women around the world don't like all men. And I'm saying this as a black American man. We've been sold this dream. I never bought it, but we've been sold that black American men are the most desired men on the planet. Yeah, fucking right. Yeah, fucking right. First of all, if you go to another country, for example, Romania, Romanians prefer Romanians. You know, Russians prefer Russians. Kenyans prefer Kenyans. The women usually prefer somebody from their own country. That's the number one fact. When we start talking about foreigners, if you ask me, we're not the first foreigner they prefer, depending on where you go. They prefer white men before black men in Latin America. This is just what it is. You can disagree. This is just what it is. Okay, that's why Latin America is so mixed. For example, I've dated many Afro-Latinas in Latin America. My first few girlfriends in Brazil and Rio were Afro-Latina because that's what I prefer is black women, right? All those black women in Rio, the previous man that they were with was a white guy, and they were black. More than likely in the United States, if you're in Dallas, if you're in Houston, if you're in New York, if you're in Miami, if you're in Atlanta, if you're in LA, most black women usually had a previous black boyfriend, and the guy before may have been black, and the guy before may have been black. It's not as common in the States for women to just hawk on fucking white men the way how they do in Latin America and even Asia. Like I said before, you guys ever notice how the best Thai women are with another Asian guy because that's similar to their culture, or they're with a white guy? Now, we got some brothers down there, black American men, that have some good-looking women in these other countries. Not saying it's always the case. But when we bring up an average of what you see when you're down there, it's not us that they're preferring, first of all. So, can black American men win around the world? Yes, I am. I was in Portugal. I was in Manaus for sure. Even though Sao Paulo required a lot more effort, I was doing well there. I did well in Santiago, Chile. There's women in every city around the world that prefer or that are open to black men. Let's change this narrative. Women around the world are open to black American men. But to say prefer, for example, I prefer black women. It doesn't matter if they're from Africa, United States, Latin America. I prefer black. I'm open. I've dated white women since I've been gone. I've dated mestizas since I've been gone. I've dated Asian women. That doesn't mean that I don't date them. It's just when I have my ideal girl in my mind, she's usually black. What I'm telling you is women in Asia and Latin America, usually their ideal guy is not somebody that looks like me. Okay? It just is what it is. Now, can you find women in these other countries that prefer black men? Can you find that? I've met men that live in Colombia that said that their wife preferred black men. He married her. That's something that is real. You guys remember Kate? Does Kate look like she would ever date a Thai guy? She actually told me she only dates black guys. But does she look like she would date a Thai guy? You know, you can look at some of these chicks and tell that they're for us. Those are niche. Those are specific. Just like you have Most black men in America want black women, right? Kevin Samuels even told you guys that. Most black men want black women. But you do have some black guys in the States that say, I would never date a black girl. It makes sense only to believe that black men prefer black women because their mother was black. That's what they saw growing up. It's somebody that somebody they can relate to the most. And then we can get further into brainwashing in Latin America, in media, in colonization. All those things play a role. But I'm just telling you guys this. Most people prefer people where they're from. But that does not mean you don't have options. You're not going to convince me that I can go to Romania and more than 50% of Romanian women want to marry a black guy. They might fuck you. They might sleep with you. Yeah. Just the same way how I wouldn't really see myself marrying an Asian woman. Will I smash one? I have. Plenty of them. I don't think, I've met Asian women in Latin America and Sao Paulo. I met them in when I was in Portugal. Beautiful. I don't even approach them. It's not my preference. Doesn't mean that if they showed interest, I would decline them just because they're Asian. But it's just not my preference. So that's something that has to be understood. We can't, because a lot of these guys are selling this dream that they want us and only us. And if we go abroad, we can just snag whoever we want. It's not the fucking case. But yes, if any city you go to in the world, you can find a woman that likes you. Yes. That's even in the United States. You can go to wherever the Ku Klux Klan is, wherever their headquarters is at. There's some racist ass white girl that maybe she'll sleep with you. I don't know. A lot of us are getting confused with she'll sleep with us with she loves us. Just saying. Now, most women worldwide are not submissive. The world is becoming westernized. So if you guys love Brazil, based off the experiences that I've had and the stuff that I've heard those women say, you got about 5 or 10 more years before that shit is going to be just like the United States. I mean, let's look at some things that's similar to the United States, right? In Brazil, talking bad about gay people can get you put in prison. So just like you can get canceled for talking about them in the States, yeah, you can get put in prison over there. We all know they have feminism in Brazil. Does that mean you can't date Brazilian women? No. But for example, I had this one Brazilian chick I was dating, and I told her, like, yeah, you're my baby. It's a flirting way. I didn't think nothing of it when I said it. Her response was, no, I'm not yours. I don't like to be objectified. I'm nobody's property. Are you fucking serious? You just killed the whole romance. Women, that's not the first chick that says something like that in Brazil. Now, if you go to other countries like somewhere maybe like Paraguay or Peru or Kenya or Colombia, no chick is going to have an issue with you saying that you're their baby. I mean, what if I fucking marry her? I can't call her my wife. Get the fuck out of here. But that sounds like that's a dumb logic, right? That sounds like feminism. That sounds like the same shit that the women say in the States sometimes, right? Well, most times, right? So there you have it. Ask a Brazilian chick, does she want to be a stay-at-home wife for you? I bet you 60% of the time she's going to say no, she doesn't want to be dependent on a man. So, a lot of these countries, women are not... Yes, I've had women in Brazil cook and clean and do all the things that we fantasize about. I've had that done in numerous countries, right? Even in Tanzania, I've had that. And I recommend Tanzania for that stuff. But slowly, with time, worldwide, that stuff is starting to disappear. Some people like say, oh, well, that's because you go to the big cities. Yeah, people live in big cities in these other countries when we move for the same reason we live in big cities in the United States. You notice how a lot of people live in Dallas compared to Waco? There's a fucking reason for that. Because big cities have more opportunity and they're more convenient. I'm not going to move to some small ass town, shithole in Texas, where if I need to go to the hospital, it's going to be 30 minutes for me to get there. Versus when I lived in Dallas, I could literally walk next door to a hospital. And if I didn't live to that hospital, there was another hospital within 5 minutes away. Big cities. That's why we moved there. Most of you guys are not trying to move to a fucking village. So these issues of westernization, you're going to deal with if you move to Nairobi, if you move to Sao Paulo, if you move to Rio, if you move to Salvador, if you move to Santiago, Chile. You're going to notice some of these things that we don't like out of women. It's not the majority of them in these other countries, but you will notice that you do come across them from time to time. So the thing that these women are just, oh, it's nothing wrong with it. Oh, Brazil's never gonna flip. No, America doesn't have to do it. They're doing it to themselves. So yes, everything is not peaches and cream, but it is better. I'd rather deal with this than deal with what I was dealing with in the States. Yes, I would agree with that. I'm your only friend. Most of these guys on YouTube that are showing you guys this submissive lifestyle, they're dealing with prostitutes. They're paid actors.